32 teams with one goal to headline Super Bowl 61, the 2026 NFL season officially kicks off unusually on Wednesday night, September the 9th, and culminates on Valentine's Day 2027 at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, outside of Los Angeles, California, for Super Bowl 61. Tonight, we unveil all of it. Where's your favorite team heading? Who's playing on opening night? Who's playing in week 1? Who's playing on Thanksgiving? Who's playing on Christmas? You'll find that out and so much more. For this is our 2026 TXN Sports World NFL schedule release special. Hey there, welcome everybody to this very exciting edition of TXN Sports World. It is our 2026 NFL schedule release special. Hello, friends. I am your host, Anthony Florio, and I am joined by good old MF, Michael Fletcher, my partner in crime when it comes to the NFL. We're your Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, of course, or Phil Simms, whatever you want to call it. But tonight, we're going to unveil everything. 18 weeks, 272 games. All those questions that we've been dying to answer, all the leaks, all the reports that have come out, we're going to confirm it all right here and right now. Without any further ado, we give you your first look at the 2026 NFL schedule. And here we go. It starts with week number 1. And what a way to start off the 2026 season. On Wednesday night, September the 9th, a special Wednesday night edition of Sunday Night Football on NBC. We're going big. We're opening this thing. We're jumping. We're coming right out of the. We're coming out guns blazing, folks. Look at this. A rematch of Super Bowl 60. The American Football Conference champions, the New England Patriots, squaring off against the National Football Conference champions and the Super Bowl 60 champions, the Seattle Seahawks, from Lumen Field in Seattle. Now, we are not going to reveal every game of every week. We're only going to do it for week number 1. So we started off with New England squaring off against Seattle. And then on the following night, Thursday, September the 10th at 8:35, exclusively on Netflix, from Melbourne, Australia, the San Francisco 49ers squaring off against the Los Angeles Rams from the home of Super Bowl 61, SoFi Stadium, Inglewood, California. And the rest of the games, Sunday, September 13th, and of course, Monday Night Football on September the 14th. And here are the matchups. Sunday, September 13th at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox, it will be the Chicago Bears squaring off against the Carolina Panthers at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. Also on Fox, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers squaring off against the Cincinnati Bengals from Paycor Stadium, formerly Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. Also on Fox, the New Orleans Saints square off against the Detroit Lions from Ford Field in Detroit. One of our games of the week when it comes to week number 1. My team, the Buffalo Bills, will open their season against the Houston Texans from NRG Stadium in Houston. Also on CBS at 1 p.m., another big-time matchup. The Baltimore Ravens squaring off against the Indianapolis Colts Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Also on CBS, the Cleveland Browns versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, Everbank Field in Jacksonville. On Fox, we will see the Atlanta Falcons squaring off against the Pittsburgh Steelers from Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh. And then from there, to round out the early window of week number 1, it will be the New York Jets squaring off against the Tennessee Titans from Nissan Stadium in Nashville. Late games. Opening week, both networks are getting doubleheaders. Both networks. There will be 2 games on CBS and 2 games on Fox. And all 4 of these games will kick off at 4:25 on Sunday, September the 13th. On CBS, you will see the Arizona Cardinals squaring off against the Los Angeles Chargers. Again, from SoFi Stadium, the home of Super Bowl 61. On Fox, Crossflex. It's ironic to me that we're going to have games that you would normally see on CBS on Fox and games that you would normally see on Fox on CBS. Well, 3 of these games are. One of these games is a pure Fox game. This Fox game at 4:25, MF, it's your team, the Miami Dolphins. And you're like, okay, Florio, where are we going? Opening week, MF, you're going to get to see the number 1 overall draft pick. Fernando Mendoza, you, my friend, are going to the home of WrestleMania the last 2 years, Allegiant Stadium, against the Las Vegas Raiders. And that game can be found on Fox. Also at 4:25, this on CBS, the Green Bay Packers squaring off against the Minnesota Vikings from the home of this year's SummerSlam, US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. And to round out the 4:25 window on Fox, the Washington Commanders squaring off against the Philadelphia Eagles from Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. The first Sunday Night Football game, as announced this past week on the Today Show, my man Carson Daly, he made the announcement, and here it is. If you didn't already know, you know now. It will be the Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Giants, MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. The season premiere, the first true Sunday Night Football game. And then to round it all out for week number 1, the season premiere of Monday Night Football on ESPN at 8:15, the Denver Broncos versus the Kansas City Chiefs from Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. And that, my friends, is your week 1, 2026 NFL schedule. Okay, well, starting the season on a Wednesday, I find that very interesting. And MF, I think we know which game's going to be our first game right out of the box. I mean, it's set up for us perfectly. We're going to Seattle.
Yeah.
Super Bowl rematch. New England versus Seattle to open things for week number 1. Looking at the schedule here, we got a lot of goodies here. I mean, we're rolling the red carpet here. I mean, New England and Seattle immediately stands out. The Niners and the Rams in Melbourne, Australia. Ooh, that is
at the world's famous cricket ground in Melbourne. And the thing is about Melbourne is that this is one of their largest stadiums that they do. Anthony, there's an estimated that they could have over 100,000 fans for that game. So this could be an NFL record for the largest attended game in the history of the international series. Well over 100,000. They could be challenging, I believe it was Dallas or even the Rose Bowl for the all-time record for an NFL game in the history of the game, for the largest attended NFL game too. So this record could fall.
My, oh my. Looking at the other remaining games of week number 1, I mean, those two right out of the box immediately stand out. Chicago and Carolina, a battle of former number one draft picks, Caleb Williams and Bryce Young. That could be an interesting matchup. I'm also looking at Tampa Bay and Cincinnati. That's worth a look. Um, Buffalo and Houston. I mean, if we didn't have New England and Seattle, this also could have been our game, MF. I mean, we know the history of Buffalo and Houston. I mean, as Michael Bullock would say, this is very likely going to be another make or break year for my Buffalo Bills. And let me tell you, the Texans have given us major hell over the last 2 years. The last 2 years, Houston has beaten Buffalo in Houston. So Buffalo's getting put through the ringer immediately, going up against that defense. Oh boy. I mean, I'm going to be doing a lot of praying going into that game. I will tell you that right now, because Houston has been an absolute house of horrors for Buffalo. But in all seriousness, you can't deny the matchup. I mean, we know how great Buffalo's offense is. JA-17, James Cook, the addition of DJ Moore as our new number one receiver, going up against CJ Stroud and a solid Texan offense. But that defense, we all know how scary they were last season. And but Buffalo, they got revenge on their mind. Houston has humiliated and embarrassed Buffalo the last 2 years, especially last year, that Thursday night when they sacked Josh Allen 8 times. You know, JA is going to do everything in his power to make sure nothing like that happens in this matchup. But that's easily a top 3 game right there, MF. I mean, New England and Seattle will obviously be ours because that's automatic with the Super Bowl rematch. But that game is very much worth more. It's worth a lot more than a look, honestly, because that's a damn good matchup.
Absolutely.
Baltimore and Indianapolis. I could see that maybe being the 4 game right there. That sounds like a number 4 game right there. And
because Baltimore, like you, and I'm just gonna, because we can do this periodically, because if it's just us, we can just go off. Baltimore has Super Bowl aspirations. Indianapolis, this might be a make or break year for Indy, because I kind of feel like a lot of people are down on the Colts, especially after the Daniel Jones's injury, and they never really had a bounce back. But they got a good defense. They got Jonathan Taylor. If Daniel Jones is fully healthy, maybe Indy makes some noise here. But a lot of things need to go right. But that first game is a rough matchup for the Colts. If you're putting the gun to my head and say, you got to pick right here, right now, who you're going to pick for this game, I got to go with the Ravens to win that game, right out of the gate.
Definitely. Let's see. Atlanta and Pittsburgh. I mean, the Tua Tagovailoa era in Atlanta.
Will Aaron Rodgers be the quarterback for the team in Week 1? Is Aaron going to be with Pittsburgh, or do they go with another quarterback at the helm? That's going to be the major question if you're a Steeler fan right now.
Arizona and the LA Chargers. I mean, we get our first. I mean, well, everybody else will, but I personally know firsthand how damn good Jeremiah Love truly is. I mean, watching that young man play at Notre Dame, I cannot tell you how much joy he brought to me and to our dear friend Brian Keenan, who, I mean, watching that young man play at Notre Dame was such a joy, was such a thrill for us. And now everybody who may not have gotten to see him at Notre Dame, you're going to see him as Arizona opens up against the LA Chargers at SoFi. I mean, that's a great matchup as well. That's a solid matchup there. And your team, MF, your Dolphins, you're going to Vegas, and you're gonna get the first look at Fernando Mendoza in Vegas.
Well, as of right now, I've heard that it won't be Mendoza. What I'm hearing is that they might actually sit Mendoza for the first game, that he might not be the starter going in, that they might use their backup or a veteran for him. So if we don't see Fernando Mendoza, that's a big win for Miami because we know how good Mendoza is. So you never know. But as of now, from what I'm hearing, Mendoza might not be the starter going in. That they might want to, because obviously there's always that debate of, do you throw the rookie quarterback into the fire immediately, or do you hold and let him be groomed by the backup, or have the starter go first, a veteran starter, and then eventually Mendoza gets to become the starter of the team. This is kind of like with Miami when they had Tua. Tua actually sat the first 4 games before he became the starter. Are they going to go that route, or are they going to do it like the Peyton Manning route and just say, all right, kid, you're in? I don't know how that's going to work. The rumor going around, and according to a friend of mine who's a Raider fan, he's even saying he thinks Mendoza will not be the starter in week 1, he might be the starter eventually, but week 1, he doesn't think that Mendoza is going to get thrown into the fire immediately. So I don't know. We'll see.
And your Dolphins, they start life after Tua with Malik Willis. And of course,
new look team, total rebuild. If there's ever a game to get, this may be the game. This first game against the Raiders, I feel confident enough that we may win this, because there's not that many games that I'm feeling very confident about this team this year.
Of course.
But this is one of the few bright spots where we may be able to get one here. So I'm confident about that one.
Whereas I'm not so confident when it comes to Buffalo against Houston.
And understandable. Plus, you're going to Houston. That's
House of Horrors.
That's a tough place to play. So I get
They've beaten us the last 2 years.
Yeah, they have.
Well, just know that, rest assured, it's not going to be 3. I'll tell you that right now. It's damn sure not going to be 3. Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Green Bay and Minnesota. We know that history.
Good matchup. Yep.
And then you got Washington and Philadelphia to round out the late games. Okay. As far as Sunday Night Football is concerned, I understand it's John Harbaugh's first game as the New York Giants head coach, and you want to give him the primetime stage. I can understand that. But MF, is it just me, or does it feel like almost every year we get the Cowboys and the Giants right out of the box?
Yeah.
And in prime time, no less.
Yeah, and the thing is that I know a lot of people are saying the same thing. Why on earth is it these two? I think it's the popularity of the Cowboys, because love them or hate them, the Cowboys do draw big numbers. And with the Giants, I think this is NFL's way of pushing New York to say, I think the Giants are going to be a really good team this upcoming year. That they actually believe that the Giants could actually make a run in the NFC East. And I think that's why they're throwing this game right out in the forefront. It's also similar with the Monday night game, Denver versus Kansas City. And I think it's the same reason. Because Denver, I think everybody's going to say this. If Bo Nix did not get hurt, I think Denver would have been the AFC champions. They would have been in the Super Bowl, not the New England Patriots. Sorry, Patriot fans, but let's be realistic here. And Kansas City, I think they're believing that Patrick Mahomes will be back in time for the opener, and I think that's why they're throwing the Chiefs out there. There would be no other reason why Kansas City would get a Monday night game if they did not believe Patrick Mahomes would be good to go, even though he's coming back from a horrific Achilles injury. So we don't even know his status, but they believe he should be back in time for the season opener. That's why we got this game.
And don't forget Kenneth Walker III.
Yes.
The big signing for Kansas City.
And the big signing for Kansas City. So, yeah, absolutely.
Now, of course, obviously, New England and Seattle, that's going to be our game. I think that's a given. But when it comes to the 2 game, which one is more appealing, Buffalo and Houston or Denver and Kansas City? Which one sounds more like a 2 to you?
If Mahomes is good to go, and if Mahomes is able to play, I think it would be Denver and Kansas City would take the 2.
And Buffalo and Houston would go
And
3.
Buffalo and Houston would be the 3. Yeah. That's what
And I
I
think
would
Baltimore
think.
and Indianapolis should round out the 4.
I agree with that. I'm comfortable with that. Yeah.
And keep in mind, let's not forget we do have some cross flexes, and
We do.
there are cross flexes that we could think about. But to close out week 1, I mean, New England and Seattle. How about that? New England and Seattle to start it off. Super Bowl rematch right out of the box.
Yeah, this one got leaked. This one got leaked about yesterday afternoon, and it was actually Michael Bullock that actually posted this one. And there was rumors that New England was one team that they were looking at because traditionally the first game of the season goes to the world champions. So you start looking at different teams, different things, and the one that I was hearing was it was probably going to be New England, and I'm like, because, and I don't want to bring it up, but there's been a lot of stuff that's been happening off the field with the Patriots. I'm not going to get into it because that's not, that's not our ground.
We're here to have fun,
but
big fun.
That's why I was a little surprised to hear that New England may get the spot. When they officially announced it, that yes, it was the Patriots, I was like, okay, I see the logic. Super Bowl rematch. Every year you would like to see that be the first game. Why not? I think it'd be great. But
you easily could have had San Francisco or the Rams in there too.
That's what I was thinking too. But because of the game in Melbourne, I think that's why that got taken off the board. So yeah. So
and then
I think that's why.
And of course, New England, they're gonna want to bounce back after they got embarrassed in that Super Bowl, as we saw.
Yep.
I mean,
yep.
When we got together with Michael Bullock and our dear friends Mike and Brian Keenan at their house, and I mean, it was a fun night. I just wish we could have had a more entertaining game, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But it was still a fun night, anyways. So, so New England and Seattle. I mean, Seattle starts life after Kenneth Walker III, and of course, New England looking to prove that last season was not a fluke. I mean, a lot of people saying that it was because they had the easiest schedule maybe of all time, and look where it got them.
What? Well, it's
going to be tougher now.
This year's schedule is it's not that easy.
It's what you get for being a first place team, boys. So that's all there is to it. And then the 49ers and the Rams. Great NFC West matchup. You can make an argument that might be the game of the week on the NFC side.
I agree. Yeah.
So in the cricket grounds of East Melbourne, Australia, possibly going for an all-time attendance record. Man, oh man, that is going to be something else. So yeah, I mean, those are pretty much the standouts we have for week number 1. So with that being said, MF, let's go into week number 2. So,
all right. Yeah, in week number 2, we actually started out, Anthony, and we go to the brand new Highmark Stadium, Buffalo, New York. It will be the Detroit Lions versus the Buffalo Bills. This will be on Amazon Prime Video. This is the cap off. This is where we're going to start it. And then we got some good ones. Like you said, we're not going to do every game, but Carolina, Atlanta, I would say right now, Cincinnati and Houston. That's going to be a good one on CBS. That one looks like an interesting matchup.
Definitely.
Steelers and Patriots, the home opener at Gillette. Always fun when these two get it on. Then, we may have and then we got some good ones and the 425, the 4 o'clock window. The first one on 405 on September 20. Jacksonville and Denver. Oh, that could be interesting. And that could be an interesting matchup to say the very least. Obviously, Commanders and Cowboys, and then we got a pretty good matchup again. Another Sunday nighter. Indianapolis goes to Kansas City to play the Chiefs, and then Monday night again. This is that theory that I was talking about, that maybe the NFL trying to push the Giants. They are going to SoFi against the Rams in week 2 on ESPN, on ABC. So not many big matchups in week 2, but those are the ones that kind of stand out for me, Anthony, as I give it to you.
Remember I talked about crossflex? I mean, I think this might be the week we might use it. I mean, Detroit and Buffalo.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The first game, not only the first game in the new Highmark Stadium, of course, but look at the matchup. Do you remember, MF, when we did that game a couple years ago? Buffalo and Detroit, that wild and crazy shootout at Ford Field?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I got a feeling we might be in for another one. I mean, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, and that dynamic offense going up against JA-17, James Cook, and DJ Moore, and Khalil Shakir. And I don't think we're going to be seeing much defense in that one. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of points in that one. I got a good feeling about that. I really do. And that's a brother matchup. That's Nick's team, Detroit, against my team, Buffalo.
Yep.
And we actually did sit down and watch that game together, that Buffalo-Detroit game. True story. But we had a nice little moment after the game, and we said, hey, good game. And you remember Buffalo jumped out to a huge lead in that game, and Detroit nearly came back and pulled it out. But man, I mean, I think this is one of those cross flex weeks, MF, right here. I mean, I might be calling for a cross flex here. Let's see. Carolina, Atlanta, that's worth a look. Minnesota and Chicago. I mean, that's worth a look as well. No doubt about that. That's a great matchup there. And you said it, Cincinnati and Houston. I mean, that could be one of our upper echelon games of week number 2. Pittsburgh and New England, absolutely. And then from there, not really many exciting matchups in the early window. Later window, I mean, Jacksonville and Denver, that could be an upper echelon game. That could be our game. You never know. And then from there, we have the Raiders and the Chargers. Always entertaining when they get together. Seattle and Arizona. Seattle and Arizona, when they square off, a battle of the former Notre Dame running backs. You got Jeremiah Love in Arizona, and you got Jadarian Price in Seattle. Seattle took him with the last pick in the first round of the draft. So Seattle and Arizona for sure. Washington and Dallas, obviously the history with that matchup. And your Dolphins, MF, going up against the 49ers. I mean, we'll see how that plays out at Levi's. And you talked about the NFL pushing the Giants. I think we could say the same thing about the Chiefs as well. I mean, back-to-back primetime games to open up for KC at home.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree with that. Yeah.
And Indianapolis and Kansas City, that's definitely within our realm. Absolutely. That's going to be one of our top echelon games for sure. And then you got the Giants and the Rams at SoFi to round it out. So, Not overly exciting for week number 2, but if I'm going to be honest with you, MF, when it comes to week number 2, I'm eyeing that Detroit Buffalo. I'm eyeing a cross flex on that one.
Yeah,
So,
I don't blame you.
so we'll see. We'll see. So with that said, let's get into week number 3. We started off on Thursday Night Football. We got the Atlanta Falcons squaring off against the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau. That sounds like a solid matchup. How about the LA Chargers against Buffalo? That sounds like I think that's worth a look. Justin Herbert and the Chargers going up against JA and the Bills at New Highmark Stadium. A Fox game, believe it or not. That's going to be a Fox game there. And then from there, Houston and Indy in Indy on
Yeah,
CBS.
never a dull game with them two when they go at it. Never
Oh
a
no.
dull game.
Oh no. Would have loved to have had that Charger Buffalo game on our end, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, New England and Jacksonville.
Yep.
Ooh. That almost could have been a playoff matchup right there. But and your Dolphins, MF. You got the Chiefs and the Swifties coming to Hard Rock for you. The Swifties are coming. Get ready. That's on CBS, Kansas City and Miami. That might be worth a look. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Yes, MF. We know that history, don't we?
Oh yeah.
On CBS. Seattle and Washington. That's a good one on Fox. And then in the late window, Arizona and San Francisco. And how about this? The Baltimore Ravens and the Dallas Cowboys from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Yep.
Oh, that could be our game. You never know.
Could be from the legendary Maracana. And this place is, you want to talk about one of the cathedrals of sports. The Maracana has hosted the Olympics. It's been the home of the Copa America final. It was the home of the World Cup final, and it has done an NFL game before. So to do it at the Maracana this is a big deal for the international series and for this game in Rio. And to have the Ravens and the Cowboys, that's a big matchup, no doubt. Definitely could be our game, Anthony. That could be a cross flexor.
Well, that's not really a cross flex. I mean, it does fall into our
Our realm.
normal realm, AFC at NFC. So
yeah.
If it was the other way around, then definitely.
Yeah.
But, well, we have some different primetime matchups. How about what could be a possible Super Bowl preview? The Los Angeles Rams against the Denver Broncos?
That could be a cross flexor.
As could the Philadelphia Eagles and the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field on Monday.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to week number 3, I suppose Atlanta and Green Bay might be worth a look. Definitely the Chargers and Buffalo. I think that's worth a look, more than a look. Absolutely. Those are two great teams in the AFC. So two of the favorites, no doubt. Houston and Indianapolis, New England and Jacksonville, Kansas City and Miami, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, Seattle and Washington. Late window, not all that exciting, if I'm being honest, outside of that Baltimore and Dallas game in Rio. I mean, that's going to be great.
I mean, you could take a look at the Vikings and the Buccaneers, just like a slight glance at it, maybe interesting.
Life after Mike Evans.
Yeah, but I don't think it would be. I wouldn't call it like a marquee game, but it would be something that I would keep a close eye on. Maybe as like a leisure game, but yeah, the big one is Dallas and Baltimore from Rio. That is the game, and then of course
Rams and Denver.
The Sunday night and Monday night game are also pretty big.
Yep. So Yep. So those are my standouts from week 3. And MF, do you want to move on? You just want to move on to week number 4?
Let's move on to week number 4. And,
What do we have in
well,
week 4 that stands
yeah.
out?
Well, right now, right out of the gate, let's start with this. Pittsburgh and Cleveland. I
Mm.
mean, it's a rivalry game. And the thing is, it's weird because whenever the Steelers played the Browns in Cleveland, something kooky normally happens. Something weird happens with this game.
Oh yeah.
So this is one you might want to keep a close eye on. Obviously, the international series continues on. This time we go to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. Indianapolis Colts versus the Washington Commanders. And yeah, folks, be ready to get up real early in the morning, like 9:30, folks, over in the East. So
Have some
have a little
breakfast.
breakfast and have some breakfast and enjoy the game.
NFL
Then,
Network.
yep. And then once we get into the 1 o'clock slate, there's only
Whoa.
one.
Woohoo.
Buffalo, New England, at the new Highmark Stadium.
Could be
1
ours.
o'clock kickoff. That could be our
ours.
game. Here's a sleeper matchup: Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Cincinnati Bengals. That's also
Definitely.
a 1 o'clock kickoff. Then
Like
you
that.
got the LA Rams versus the Philadelphia Eagles from the link, and
Oof.
of course you got the Green Bay Packers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from the new sombrero at Raymond James Stadium. Bucky maybe firing the cannons on that one. Late games, we got 3 good possible matchups. Kansas City versus the Raiders in Vegas. We got the Chargers and the Seahawks at Lumen Field. You got the Broncos and the 49ers at Levi Stadium. And then, I'm not going to say this, but I'm going to say it.
Wow.
Sunday night and Monday night, not the best matchups, I got to say. The Lions and the Panthers, and then
Carolina gets a Sunday nighter?
Yeah,
Wow.
Carolina got a Sunday nighter.
That's
Carolina
a choice.
got a Sunday night game.
That is a choice.
And then the Monday night game, I mean, it's divisional rivals. It's the Falcons versus the Saints. I don't know. I think the league could have done better with these two night games. I'm not as enthralled with the matchups. I'm not as overly excited about it. But I mean, the Sunday slate is good. And even the I don't mind the Thursday night game. That looks like a good matchup. The London game is not bad, but dude, Patriots and Bills at the new Highmark, Jacksonville and Baltimore. If you want to make an argument, Jacksonville and Cincinnati. I'm sorry. Then you can even make an argument for Dallas versus Houston.
Thank you.
It's a sleeper matchup.
I was waiting for
that.
So
that's a sleeper matchup. Eagles and Rams at the link. The Packers and the Buccaneers at the new sombrero. And that's my odd to the legend Chris Berman at Raymond James. So you got that one. So and then the 4 o'clock games, the 3-4-25 games, the Chiefs and the Raiders from Vegas. You got the Chargers and the Seahawks. Maybe a Super Bowl matchup. You don't know. And then another team that could be a Super Bowl matchup, the Broncos and the 49ers. I mean, take your pick on those games. They have been in the Super Bowl before. So take your pick with those games. So that's my week 4, Anthony. Go.
Well, I'm not really as high on Pittsburgh and Cleveland as you are. I mean, I can understand why you would be because of the history. I can understand it. Indy and Washington at Tottenham Hotspur. That's worth a look if you're willing to get up that early. So we'll see how that goes. Of course, it's New England and Buffalo. I mean, right around the same time of the game last year. That was on October the 5th, and that was a Sunday night game. This time around, we're going from Sunday night to Sunday afternoon. at 1 p.m. I mean, I'm very surprised the league did not put that game as the Sunday night matchup. I mean, I think that would have been a better Sunday night game than the one we got here. But New England and Buffalo, I mean, regardless of what time it is, we know the story. The story writes itself. Can the New England Patriots start another dynasty? Whereas the Buffalo Bills, who had, when it comes to the AFC East anyways, they had a dynasty going. They won that. They had won that division 5 years running up until last year. Buffalo looking to take back the AFC East. And I believe in my heart of hearts, they're going to do just that this year. I'm already calling it. I think Buffalo is going to win the division this year. But we'll address that in a few months when we get to our regulation season finale of TXN Sports World, when we preview the college and NFL seasons right around the end of August or so. But I'm already calling it. I believe Buffalo is taking back the AFC East. That's just my personal opinion. Can't wait to see that one. That's going to be fun. Let's see. Jacksonville and Cincinnati. That's another standout matchup right there. I mean, Trevor Lawrence and Joe. Let's not forget about the history of Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow. They played. They played each other for the national championship. Don't forget that. Mm-hmm. LSU, Clemson, the Superdome.
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence with Clemson, Joe Burrow and LSU, and Joe Burrow and LSU absolutely went off in that one. Very dominant win by LSU in that championship game just before COVID. So Dallas and Houston. I'm glad, Emmett, that you finally noticed that one. I was getting worried for a second because I'm like, what about Dallas and Houston? I think that game's worth a look. I mean, we know the history. The very first game the Houston Texans played was against the Dallas Cowboys on a Sunday night, and they won. So almost a quarter century later, here they are, Dallas and Houston. That's going to be a fun one on Fox. Rams and Philly, a lot of history with those two. I mean, those are two of the favorites in the NFC. Matthew Stafford and Jalen Hurts. I like that matchup a lot. Green Bay and Tampa Bay, old NFC Norris rivals going at it. I'm not quite as high on Kansas City and the Raiders as you are, MF. I mean, of course, Kansas City, of course, but looking to get back to the promised land after a very disappointing season last year. Whereas the Raiders, I'll believe it when I see it. If they're good enough at that particular point in time, then and only then I will consider it. But those other two matchups, yes.
The only reason why I think that is because I think this would probably be the moment where I think we would get Fernando Mendoza.
Ooh,
okay. That's why I'm thinking that too.
Understand.
Plus, the Raiders did have a very good offseason. Like revamping their roster and everything else. I kind of feel like this could be, their break more than anything else. So that's why I'm thinking that this could lead to that particular game. So that's why I'm thinking that could be. And plus, in the past, when it's the Raiders versus the Chiefs in Vegas, for some odd reason, this game is a lot more closer and a lot more tighter than the experts normally have it.
Definitely.
So that's why I kind of feel like this game should be. I would say, I'm not saying that it's a must watch, but it's something that you might want to keep a close eye on as like an intriguing matchup. That's why I said what I said.
But the other two games, absolutely.
Must watch.
I mean, you never know. I mean, when we get to that week, we're going to have to do a lot of thinking about that. I mean, because you got New England and Buffalo. I mean, that's the instant standout right there. I mean, that's the one that we are eyeing currently right now. But like I said, Jacksonville and Cincinnati, that could be our game. The Chargers and Seattle, that could be our game. Denver and San Fran could even be our game. You never know. I mean, Mike Evans in San Francisco and how great Denver was this past season. A Bo Nix injury away from going to the Super Bowl. But the primetime games, I mean, What in the world? I mean, you can understand Detroit. Obviously, you understand Detroit because you know how good they are. They're fun to watch. We know this. But what in the world did the Carolina Panthers do to get to for the league to say, I think they deserve a Sunday night game? Not
Yeah,
quite. Not
yeah,
quite there, Chet. Not quite.
yeah.
But they did come on strong at the end of the season, though. So we shall see. I'm willing to give it a chance. Willing. And then you're giving us Atlanta and New Orleans on Monday night. Ugh, hoofa. That's all I'm gonna say. So
That's why I said I like because some of the other games is like because like I said, you got the Chargers in Seattle, you got the Broncos and the 49ers. I mean,
Jacksonville, Cincy.
I mean, you could do Eagles versus the Rams, Dallas and the Texans. Hell, Buffalo and New England. Like those two games easily could have been Sunday night, Monday night games. I mean, I'm a little surprised that they went with these two games instead of those games up above. It kind of makes me wonder, what happened there? How on earth did NBC and ESPN draw the short straw on that, where CBS and Fox all benefited with the remaining games that they got? Because yikes.
Well, it's a mystery, and only time will tell. But
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, let's move on to week number 5. That's right around Columbus Day weekend, and here we go. Start off on Thursday Night Football. How about Tampa Bay and Dallas on Thursday night? How does that sound?
That's a good matchup.
From Jerry World, AT&T Stadium. The next game of the International Series, another possible Super Bowl preview. You never know. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Jacksonville Jaguars. That
Yep.
could be good. That could be a very good matchup. Jalen
Sec-
Hurts and Trevor Lawrence. We'll see.
second week in a row at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium too.
Back to back. I guess London really loves the Jags over there, I guess.
Yeah, I think they have an exclusive deal. That's why, because I think I think the Jaguars is actually partially owned by the Khan family, and I think that's
Oh, yeah.
why Jacksonville has this exclusive deal, because I think that Hans owns an English Premier League team, and I think that's why they
Ah,
got
okay.
this kind of, yeah.
Okay, so Philly and Jacksonville. Um, you got the Bengals coming to Miami, MF. You got Joe Burrow and company headed to the Hard Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Bullock's Patriots will be hosting the Raiders. And you know, Bullock's Patriots, they're going to have revenge on their mind after the Raiders embarrassed them week 1 last year
Yes, they did.
on a cool rainy day in Foxborough. So, Patriots with revenge on their minds. Could we get Mendoza there? You never know.
Yeah, possible.
That'll be on CBS. Indianapolis and Pittsburgh, MF. How many of those games have we done over the years with those two?
Oh man, so many to count, and there was a few of them that weren't so great, and then there were others that were like, oh my god.
That the divisional game in 2006. Need I say more? Let's see. Not very exciting. Well, the Giants in Washington. I mean, John Harbaugh and his new look Giants going up against Washington.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll see.
sleeper matchup.
Not. I don't really see an overly exciting. Well, Philly and Jacksonville. I mean, Tampa and Dallas looks great. That's worth. I think that's worth watching. Philly and Jacksonville looks good. Early window. Indy and Pittsburgh. That's obviously the game right there. Late window. Denver and the Chargers.
That's
That could be
probably
our
the
game.
game.
Could be
That could be
it.
the game. Yep.
And then Chicago and Green Bay. I think we all know that's going to be America's game of the week on Fox for sure. San Francisco.
There might be one other. Yeah, there might be one other that could take that
Yep,
spot there,
I see
Anthony.
it.
Yeah, that
I
one.
see it. I see it. San Francisco and Seattle.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that the NFC Championship last year?
That was. Yes.
There you go.
And
Sunday
you
Night
know,
Football.
and I
Sunday Night Football.
mm,
Baltimore and Atlanta. How about Atlanta getting a Sunday night game at
yeah,
Mercedes-Benz
that
Stadium?
I mean, Atlanta.
Um,
I know there's been a lot of excitement for Atlanta, but I'm not seeing it. But the Monday
I
nighter,
understand.
oh my god,
Look at that Monday night matchup. I
oh
think that
my
might be ours.
god,
I think that's ours. The Buffalo
oh
Bills. The Buffalo Bills and the Los Angeles Rams at SoFi. MF, do I need to remind you about Bullock's birthday in 2024 when they literally lit up the scoreboard at SoFi?
yeah,
45-42, the Rams winning.
yeah.
Josh Allen
Here we go.
and Matthew Stafford,
And Matthew Stafford going absolutely bonkers on that night.
Kevin
If you
Burkhardt.
were if you were a defensive fan, this was the game that was the night you died. 1,000 deaths. If you're
I know you
an
did.
offensive lover, if you were an offensive lover, this was your night. If you were a fan of defense, oh, this was a horrific night. You were breaking the TV and then some.
And this is where we start the bye weeks. The Carolina
Yep.
Panthers and the Kansas City Chiefs will get the first buys of 2026. So, subpar early window. I mean, standouts for week 5, it's Tampa Bay and Dallas. It's Philly and Jacksonville. That could be a cross flex. You never know.
Yep.
Indianapolis and Pittsburgh. Denver and the Chargers. Chicago and Green Bay. San Francisco and Seattle. But MF. Buffalo and the Rams. That could vary. I think that's the standout right there.
That's it. That is the standout. There's no doubt.
Us and SoFi with those two dynamos. Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
All right. So that's week number 5. MF, let's get into week number 6. What looks good to you?
Well, out of the gate, Thursday night football, October 15th, 8:15. This could be a Super Bowl matchup. Everybody thought going in that this should have been last year's Super Bowl matchup. The Seattle Seahawks, Denver Broncos,
cross flex
at Mile High. That could be a cross flex game, no doubt about it. But also, we got a good one in London. We got the Houston Texans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh, by the way, this is at the Cathedral of Soccer. We're going to Wembley for this one. This one is Wembley, the one and only game at Wembley Stadium, but this is the big one. Once you get to the earlier games around 1 o'clock, yeah, not that great of a lineup, I gotta say. Yeah, this one's rough. There's only one that actually stands out, and it's the Steelers and the Buccaneers.
Absolutely.
Other than that,
look at this.
These
are all stonks. These are all stonks.
Yeah. And then late window, it's not much better, but
there is one.
I'll give you Kansas City and the Chargers at Arrowhead.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this: the Sunday night game, wow.
History.
Dallas and Green Bay. I mean,
Ice Bowl.
Do we need to talk about the legacy and the history of these two teams? I mean, these are the two most recognizable franchises in NFL history.
Oh, yes.
So, Sunday night, maybe cross-flex? Maybe.
Could be.
If you're feeling froggy, you could jump on this.
Depends on the records, of course.
But depending on the records.
That's how we do it.
Monday night's not bad of a game either. Washington versus San Fran. But look at the teams who are on bye. Cincinnati, Detroit, Miami, and Minnesota. So
stress-free week for you.
Yeah, stress-free week for us. But yeah, Anthony, I mean, other than the Thursday night game and maybe the game in London. You said it. There was some yikes all
Zonks.
over the place, except for maybe one game on the early window, maybe one game on the late window,
Pittsburgh and Tampa.
which is the Chargers and the Chiefs as the lone 425 game.
Well, there is another 425 game. Buffalo and Vegas.
Yeah, if you want to go there, I'm not as confident about that because I think
I
Buffalo
feel
is
good
going to
about
have.
that one. I
Yeah,
feel good about that
I
one.
think that should be a win for Buffalo. But like I said, the Sunday night game could be the game that we may be looking at.
Oh,
The Dallas and Green Bay,
the legacy.
and then you got an okay with the Commanders and the 49ers.
Not bad.
But like I said, not bad. A decent game. But yeah, there's a lot of oofas in this one. Week 6, up
Yeesh.
to this point, is probably the
The dud.
weakest. It's the weakest
We'll call it the
on the
dud.
lineup. On the lineup, this is the weakest lineup for of the weeks up to this point. Yeah, this one's pretty bad. So
Yeah.
Anthony, why don't we take over week 7?
Before I do, let me just give you my thoughts. Seattle and Denver very easily could be the game. We could easily invoke cross flex there. Houston and Jacksonville at Wembley. That would be something if the records align enough for that to be our game. That would be something. Oh my God! Look at all these dud games in that early window. Yeah. The only one that really stands out, like you said, I'm at Pittsburgh and Tampa. Probably might not be our game. But don't forget about the Chargers in Kansas City, MF. I mean, over the last few years, we've done a lot of Charger Chief games, and we've gotten some thrillers out of those. Let's not forget that. I mean, remember those 2 Thursday night games that we did that we had so much fun with? I mean, 2018 when the Chargers stole one at Arrowhead at the last second, and then Kansas City stealing one at SoFi. I think it was during the COVID year. When they had that big win in overtime that we called live during a show. I mean, that was one of my favorites. Dallas and Green Bay, we know the lineage, we know the history going all the way back to the legendary Ice Bowl at Lambeau, New Year's Eve, 67. I mean, and Washington and San Fran. I mean, there's definitely some history with those two. So 2 good young teams. So that could be a good one. You never know. So, all right, let's move on to week number 7. Well, this is more like it. How about Michael? How about Bullock's New England Patriots going up against Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears at Soldier on Thursday night to open that week? That looks great. That could be our game. You never know. That could be our game. And then we go to Saint Denis, France for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New Orleans Saints. The only reason we're mentioning that, it's an international game, and they're definitely worth mentioning. Okay, let's look at the window here. Okay, how about the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore? Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. Need I say more? And then from there, how about Indianapolis and Minnesota? Indianapolis and Minnesota. Do you remember what happened the last time those two teams played? They played a Saturday game a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's right. The infamous comeback.
Indy jumped out to a 33-0 lead, and Minnesota somehow, some way, against all odds, overcame and came back and won that thing.
Yeah.
Unreal. Your Dolphins going up against the Jets, MF. I think you might be feeling good about that one at MetLife. So
we always do good at MetLife against the Jets, man. I don't know what it is. We always do good against them.
Well, another early window. I mean, outside of Cincinnati and Baltimore, that's worth a look. Indianapolis and Minnesota's worth a look. Maybe the Giants in Houston. Keyword maybe, but we'll see.
Yep.
Late window. Green Bay and Detroit.
Yeah, that's the game.
At Ford Field.
That's the game.
That's on Fox. And, yeah, the other two, not so much. Whoa, look at Sunday Night Football. How about Sunday and Monday night?
Oh,
I think we might have our game for that week. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Seattle Seahawks. Kenneth Walker returns to Seattle as a Kansas City Chief. Yeah. Is he going to get crucified? He better not. Seattle fans, remember what he did for you in the freaking Super Bowl.
yeah.
Do I have to remind you folks? You wouldn't have a second Lombardi if it wasn't for him. And the way he ran circles around Bullock's Patriots. And then Monday Night Football, the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles at the link. Bye weeks. Well, that's going to be my stress-free week. No anxiety for me with the Buffalo Bills. I get to enjoy football as a football fan.
And actually, our
in week
friend
number 7.
and my friend Aubrey, aka Ubs, who is a part of my Discord group, she will have a stress-free week because her team is actually the Jacksonville Jaguars. And they are on bye that week.
As is the Los Angeles Chargers and the Washington Commanders. So, week 7 in short. Solid Thursday night to open it. New England and Chicago. That could be our game. Cincinnati and Baltimore could also be our game. We've done some of theirs over the years. Maybe Indy and Minnesota. Maybe the Giants in Houston. Green Bay and Detroit. Obviously, that's going to be America's game of the week on Fox. Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady and crew will be there at Ford Field. But of course, MF, you also have Dallas and Philly on Monday, yes. But Kansas City and Seattle, that's the immediate standout for us when it comes to week 7. So, but then again, that could be right around World Series time. Think about that.
It could.
Because let's not forget, we have baseball playoff commitments.
Yep.
League Championship Series and the World Series. So that's right around that time. So that's week number 7. MF, week Ocho. What you got?
Well, week Ocho, Thursday night game. I can't. Yeah, unfortunately, not a good matchup there. So we're just going to bypass that. But we're not bypassing this. The Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. We're probably going to be in World Series at this point, Anthony. So we may not be able to do this.
Could be over. You
never
know.
You never know. You never know.
I hope it
you
is.
Never know. You hope, because if this could be the game. The Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills going at it at the new Highmark Stadium.
Why is it a 1:00 game though?
Well, I think you'll get your answer on why.
Now I'm going to be honest with you. I'm seeing this. I'm seeing this for the first time. I have not seen any of this yet. So we're free swinging this. I'm free swinging this.
We're free swinging. All right.
Move on to the early window.
We're going to continue. So we're still on the early window.
Baltimore and Buffalo. Wow.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm
easily ours.
Too.
Easily could be ours. What else?
Easily could be ours. There's not really that much. You can make an argument for maybe Tennessee and Cincinnati, but I'm not over it. Minnesota and Detroit, again, not like it looks good on paper, but I'm not convinced on this one. But I will say this: Indy and Jacksonville, could be a sleeper matchup. That could be a sleeper. So keep an eye on that one. Not much when it comes to the rest of the early window, but dude, once you get to the late window, we got some good ones.
Yes, we do.
We got the Chargers and the Rams.
Battle of LA.
The Chiefs and the Broncos. Battle of LA at SoFi. Chiefs and Broncos at Invesco Field in Mile High. Yeah. And you know what? If you want to throw it, a Buddy Bowl. New England Patriots. Miami Dolphins at the Hard Rock. You got that matchup. Sunday Night Football. Philadelphia Eagles versus the Washington Commanders.
Not bad.
You never know how that game's out. It's not bad of a matchup. Unfortunately, the Monday night game. Well, no, I stand corrected. The Monday night could be good. Chicago Bears versus the Seattle Seahawks. That could be an interesting matchup. Oh, by the way, for all you people on bye who gets to relax for the week, Houston Texans, New Orleans Saints, New York Giants, and the San Francisco 49ers. you're on by. Fans, have a stress-free weekend. So enjoy that week off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those are the games. Those are the games that I'm looking at. I mean, right out of the gate,
Oh,
Buffalo and the Ravens.
oh,
I mean, what
last
are we
year.
doing? What are we doing
Why is this
if
a
we're
1
not
o'clock
if we
game?
don't cover this? Yeah, well, I understand why. I understand why. I'm not mad that this is not a prime time game because sometimes you need
425
those
even.
marquee games. Yeah, you need those marquee games, in that early window. So
I understand.
maybe this may be the marquee game for the markets for all those people out there that if you're not in your local region, this may be like a national game for the rest of those fans that doesn't get the chance to watch it. So I'm cool with this. I'm down with this lineup. I like this. So I
Oh
really
my
got nothing
goodness.
more to add on that one. So Anthony, give you a quick thought, and then we'll get
Yep.
into week number 9.
It's Baltimore and Buffalo for me. That's all I need. I'm good. Um, MF. That Baltimore and Buffalo game, I'm not going to lie. That was, out of all the games we did last season, that was hands down my favorite game of last season. I mean, yeah, we all
And
remember
that was a week one, if I remember.
Baltimore was
That
smacking
wasn't that
Buffalo
week one.
around, and
Yeah,
you were going off saying, what did I tell you about this team, Florio? I told you." And you're like, "Yeah, yeah, I'll give it to you." But then when Buffalo made that insane comeback, the Derrick Henry fumble, that was
yeah,
the turning
that
point.
was that was the turning point. Yep.
And then Buffalo drove down the field. Matt Prater in for the injured Tyler Bass hits the field goal to win it. Buffalo wins 41-40. If only they had a camera if they had shown us in the booth at that particular moment, you would have had MF doing the Stone Cold Steve Austin Royal Rumble 97 face. Am I right or am I right? Because you were like,
I could not
what
believe
just happened?
that just happened. Yep.
You said I remember you vividly saying this. I would have never have believed this. That's what you said.
Yeah.
And me, screaming Anthony Florio going all over the place. I will forever call that game the miracle at Highmark, the Highmark miracle.
Yep.
I will never forget it. Easily my favorite game of last season. We had some great ones, yes, but for me, that was my personal favorite game of last season. Not because I'm a Bills fan, of course, but just the excitement of that game, the Shakespearean drama.
Mm-hmm.
Best part about it is it's on the mothership. Very easily wouldn't surprise me if it ends up being our game. I would not be surprised. Indy and Jacksonville, that's the other standout in the early window. Late window, you can't go wrong with any of those three. The Battle of Los Angeles, the Chargers and the Rams. That's a great one for Fox. Kansas City and Denver, that could be our game as well. You never know. KC and Denver could be our game. That's history there. And of course, the Buddy Bowl, Michael Bullock and all our dear friends in the group outing crew. They're New England Patriots going up against MF and Eric Carrier and his Dolphin family. And then you got Philadelphia and Washington, NFC rematch there. And then you got Chicago and Seattle, great Monday night matchup. You covered the byes, so that's it for week number 8. Let's go to week number 9 now. We're halfway home. Oh, what a good way to start off here. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Baltimore Ravens could be our game that week. You never know. At M&T Bank, we'll see. Thursday night. And then we have another international game, Madrid, Spain, Cincinnati Bengals, and the Atlanta Falcons, NFL Network. And then the theme of the show so far, early windows, not all that exciting. But I'm willing to give Dallas and Indianapolis a look. Dallas and Indianapolis, I think that's worth a look at Lucas Oil Stadium. My brother Nick and his Detroit Lions, they're coming to the Hard Rock, MF, Lions and Dolphins. So Jared Goff and that Dynamo offense looking to light up the scoreboard at the Hard Rock. We'll see. Willing to give that one a look. How about the Rams and the Commanders? I think that's worth a look.
Yeah.
Maybe Giants and Philly, but we'll see. Late window. How about Houston and the Chargers? I think that could be our game right there. You never know. And then the rest of the way, well, the other two of the other games not all that exciting, but how about Green Bay and New England?
That one could be a sleeper matchup. Yeah.
Jordan Love and the Pack. Hey, let's not forget Romeo Doubs going up against his former team.
Yeah.
So remember Romeo Doubs signing with New England in the offseason. So they got Green Bay coming into Gillette on November 8th. Ooh, Sunday Night Football, Tampa Bay and Chicago, maybe. You never know with Tampa Bay.
Sleeper matchup, yeah, sleeper matchup.
And then Monday Night Football, how about the Buffalo Bills against the Minnesota Vikings? I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah.
But I remember the last time they met. I don't like the way that one ended. I do not at all like the way that one ended.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. That was. I mean, there's always that one game during the Bills season over the last few years. That one game that not only got away, but also could have been a major difference in the playoff seedings. If Buffalo had won that game, you never know. We could have talked about possibly Buffalo as maybe the 1 seed in 2022 when they last met.
Yeah.
So, remember when they last met, 2022 in Buffalo? That wild and crazy game?
Yep.
Justin Jefferson, that ridiculous 4th and 18 catch. How they let that happen is beyond me. I'm still scratching my head on that one, but But Buffalo, and then we got Pittsburgh and Tennessee on the bye. Week number 9, standouts for me, Jacksonville and Baltimore, Dallas and Indianapolis, maybe Detroit and Miami, maybe the Giants and Philly. I like that Ram-Commander matchup. That could be good. Houston and the Chargers could be our game right there. You never know. Green Bay and New England, that looks good. Maybe Tampa Bay and Chicago, and maybe Buffalo and Minnesota. We'll see. So, MF, week 9, not really all that exciting. So,
yeah.
If you want to move on to week number 10, we certainly can.
Yeah, we most definitely will. And week 10, start off with another okay matchup with the Commanders and the New York Football Giants on Thursday Night Football. And then the international series. Look at this.
Ooh.
Look at that one in Munich.
Oh, baby.
The New England Patriots and the Detroit Lions. Oh, by the way, on one of my closest friends' birthday.
Absolutely.
That's going to be quite a game at 9:30 in the morning.
Munich, Germany.
Yeah, Munich, Germany, man. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. And then once we get to the early window, look at this. I mean, again, nothing really stands out except I could give you Minnesota and the Packers because of the divisional matchup.
Yep, that's a good matchup.
And then maybe Miami and Indianapolis, but there's really not much here in the early window. I'm a little
easy win for Buffalo, though. I see an easy win for Buffalo.
Yeah, easy win for Buffalo. And then maybe the Titans and the Jaguars, maybe, but that's just a simple maybe. And
look at the late window.
I mean, late window. Ooh. Yeah, it's not even. It's not any better, except
America's Game of the Week.
Yes, I mean
history.
I think there's nothing more to say. If you talk about some of the greatest teams in NFL history, you got to talk about the 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys.
How many playoff games?
Yeah. How
8,
many
9, 10.
How many great matchups there's been in the past? Absolutely. And then Sunday night, another great. Sunday night and Monday night.
Prime timers both could be our game.
They saved the week gets saved by the primetime games. Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals on the Sunday nighter, and then Monday night you got the I almost said San Diego Chargers. They're not. They're the LA Chargers and the Baltimore Ravens. And the teams on bye, the Bears, the Broncos, the Eagles, and the Buccaneers.
Yep.
So, I mean, again, early window, not so great. Late window, maybe one game stands out. But the primetime games stays this week from being almost an absolute dud.
Oh, my God.
So, Anthony, it's yours.
Well, when it comes to week 10, New England and Detroit could be our game. You never know. I mean, how about us in Munich, Germany? How about that? Wouldn't that be something? To go to Munich, Germany, to call New England and Detroit. Oh, it's a Fox game. Ooh, wow. Oh, wow. I thought it was going to be on NFL Network. Oh, boy.
Nope, it is Fox.
That's out now. That's off the table now. Boy, that would have been great for us. New England and Detroit, obviously, that's the big one there. Everything else, Minnesota and Green Bay, maybe. Miami and Indianapolis, renewing old AFC East hostilities. Let's not forget that. San Francisco and Dallas. All those memorable playoff games. The catch with Dwight Clark, that NFC Championship game in 81. And then when you had Montana and Young and Rice and Aikman and Emmett and Irvin and those legendary matchups, whether it was in the NFC Championship or the divisional playoffs. That's a legacy game right there, San Fran and Dallas. Easily the two standouts. It's very likely either going to be Pittsburgh and Cincinnati or the Chargers in Baltimore. I will not be mad if either of those end up being our game. Those are fun matchups. So week 10, outside of those few standouts. All right, let's go to week 11 now. Okay. All right. We're going to get better now. Thursday Night Football, the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans. Never a dull moment there. Buddy Bowl, MF, your Dolphins against my Bills at New Highmark Stadium in Buffalo. A Fox game, though. How about that?
Yeah.
Not the first time. Not the first time, though. Buffalo and Miami have actually had a Fox game before. Last time it happened, though, well, it's one MF would rather forget because Buffalo went into Miami and smacked them, literally smashed them. So, needless to say on that. And once again, what's been the theme, MF? Dud early weeks. And here's another one. Outside of Miami and Buffalo, of course, that's our personal favorite. Maybe Tampa Bay and Detroit because there is some solid history with those two.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much again, maybe Jacksonville and the Giants, maybe.
We'll sleeper matchup, but nothing that we're right home about either. Yeah.
Oh, possible Super Bowl preview: Pittsburgh and Philly.
Yeah,
could be our game. You never know.
Could be.
And how about this Sunday Night Football? Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth and Melissa Stark and the crew, maybe Maria Taylor in them, heading to Mexico City, Minnesota, and San Francisco. Where is it,
Estadio Azteca in Mexico City.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
This is a big game, a big international game to have. Yeah.
And then rounded out with Monday Night Football and a sleeper matchup, Cincinnati and Washington. Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels. Think about that. And then on by, we got Atlanta, Cleveland, Green Bay, the Rams, New England, and Seattle. That's the stress-free week for Mr. Bullock there. So yep. So I apologize. I just noticed this comment now because I've been focusing on we actually do have a comment from our dear friend Mr. Jake Turner. Just a sports update for you, my friends. 6-3 Montreal leading Buffalo in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Pivotal game 5 in that series. So we appreciate the update, Jake, and keep up the great work on your channel. Friends, I strongly suggest you go ahead and subscribe to his channel. He's got great content, and we are delighted to have him as part of our family of networks. Absolutely. So, and one other quick thing, and Oh, he says also Owen Powers might have dislocated his knee. Oh boy, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good. Once again, appreciate the updates, Jay. Keep them coming if you get them, and I'll try to get to them as soon as I can because we're more focused on the NFL website for the NFL schedule matchups. So yeah, go over to his channel. And by the way, if you haven't already on his channel, check out the show that our own good old MF Michael Fletcher guested on a couple of weeks ago or so. So that's definitely worth a watch. So all right. So in short, week 11, Indianapolis and Houston, Miami and Buffalo because of the Buddy Bowl aspect. Tampa Bay and Detroit, that's the standout game. That could be our game. You never know. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, the Battle of the Keystone State. Minnesota and San Francisco, only because of the fact that it's in Mexico City. Sunday Night Football going to Mexico City. That is going to be a sight. And then Cincinnati and Washington. Ooh, week 11. But MF, as we turn the page to week number 12, now more than ever, I mean, we say it every year, but I think this year more than ever, I think we are really, really going to celebrate Turkey Day the ravishing way.
It starts off on Wednesday, November 25th. Yeah, you heard me right.
Wednesday night.
Thanksgiving Eve.
Wow.
We never done this, but they're doing it this year. Thanksgiving Eve on Netflix.
Look at
and
this.
They're giving us the Green Bay Packers and the Los Angeles Rams at SoFi.
Could be the NFC game of the week.
Could it be the NFC game of the week?
Look at Turkey Day, friends.
And then on Thanksgiving, yes, look at this. You want to talk about Turkey Day the ravishing way?
Hell yeah.
Anthony, this may be, honestly, and I'm going to be real honest with you, this may be the greatest Thanksgiving lineup I've ever seen.
Amen.
And I really mean it.
I agree.
Chicago Bears versus the Detroit Lions. Divisional rivalry game on CBS. Then on Fox, you got the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles at AT&T Stadium. And you thought, oh, that's great. That's a great matchup. Those are two great games.
Look at this. This is our game. I'm already calling it.
Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills at the Highmark Stadium. I mean,
Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen on Turkey Day?
Yeah.
Don't eat too much turkey. Don't eat too much turkey. Watch out for that tryptophan, friends.
Oh yeah, it's gonna come and get you. And then the next day, the Black Friday game.
Look at this.
Denver Broncos and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Are you kidding me? The
these first 5 games.
The first 5 games makes the whole week for you. Like, there's nothing more to say. Week 12, the first 5, and that's it. You don't need to watch the rest of the week.
Well, there is a good one on Sunday, though.
If you want to go to the Sunday slate.
Look at that one.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about the Ravens and the Texans. That's a great matchup. Everything else, there's not much to look at. However,
the theme of the week.
The late game, whoa.
Oh.
The Niners and the Seahawks at Levi.
NFC Championship rematch, too.
NFC Championship rematch. And then the Sunday night game, the New England Patriots at the Chargers at SoFi. This was the matchup last year. It was the wild card weekend game.
Yep.
The Chargers got smoked by the Patriots.
Yes, they did.
You don't think that Harbaugh had revenge on his mind after his boys got humiliated? No, that's gonna be a good game. By the way, there are no more bye weeks after that. So that's it, Anthony. The first 5 pretty much sums up the whole week for you. As I toss it to you before you go into 13, yeah.
Look at this. Green Bay and the Rams on Thanksgiving Eve. We haven't been this excited about anything on Thanksgiving Eve since the early days of the Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I mean, the first, 4 or 5?
And this is the first time ever that I can remember that the NFL is on Thanksgiving Eve. They've never done this before.
And you're giving us Green Bay Green Bay and the Rams.
Good game.
Great
Good
matchup.
game.
And then look at this Turkey Day slate. You know, I always try to be funny by saying celebrating Turkey Day the ravishing way. Well, we are literally going to be celebrating Turkey Day the ravishing way and then some. Look at this. Look at this. Chicago and Detroit. We can call that the appetizer right there on CBS. Hello, friends. Jim Nance, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson. You already know they're going to be there for it. And then Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, Tom Rinaldi, and Aaron Andrews heading to Jerry World for Philly and Dallas. We know that history, but of course, as great as those matchups are, and they are, MF. When was the last time we did a? Do you honestly remember the last time we worked a Thanksgiving game?
I think it was Baltimore and Pittsburgh a few years ago. I
That
think
could have
it was.
been.
I think it was Baltimore and Pittsburgh a few years ago. Is when we
Could
did.
have been.
When we did a. Is when we did
Yeah.
when we did a Thanksgiving game.
Could have been, but I'm already calling it. I want that Thanksgiving game. Look at that. Kansas City and Buffalo, MF. Correct me if I'm wrong, but how many instances? It's practically almost every time Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen get together, magic happens.
Yeah, it's always chaos. Always chaos. No.
The one team that has been Buffalo's kryptonite in the playoffs. The main reason why Buffalo is still looking for that elusive first Super Bowl. And believe you me, one of these days they're going to get it. I believe it in my heart of hearts. They're going to get it. You know the saying when it comes to, you know the big saying when it comes to Bills Mafia, just one before we die. That's also my mantra. I just want one. Just give me one. I don't care what happens the rest of my life. I just want that one. That's it. I get it. I'm happy. So, story for another day. But you got Denver and Pittsburgh. Could also be our game. You never know. You never, ever know. That's the Black Friday game, by the way. 3 p.m. Eastern. Amazon Prime Video. And then the theme of the night. Dud early window. Except for Baltimore and Houston. That is going to be a knockdown, drag-out affair. And MF, you like defense? I think you're going to see a lot of it in that one. So that game is for you. Late window, it's all about Seattle and San Francisco. NFC Championship rematch. New England and the Chargers. That could be our game. You don't know. You don't know. And then Monday night, Carolina and Tampa Bay. Yeah, okay. So we're just going to bypass that. So, but my God, that's easily the most exciting week we've had yet. Hopefully it gets better going forward. Week 13. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Oh, look at this. Thursday Night Football. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Rams. Very possibly a Super Bowl preview. MF, do I even need to remind you about about the greatest Monday Night Football game of all time with those two in the Coliseum?
No, you don't need to. That was epic. Yeah.
54-51.
Yeah.
54-51. Are you kidding me? We could easily get that again. And what has been the theme? Oh, early weeks, early windows.
Early window games, not so
what
great.
What is it about these early windows that are so boring? I'm sorry, but boring.
Look, the schedule makers are trying, and that's all I can
see
say.
One. I only see one standout.
But yeah, I only see one myself.
Chargers and Tampa.
Exactly.
That's it.
Unfortunately,
all these other.
It's just
whoa. I actually do see one that's worth considering. Jacksonville and Chicago. We got to look at that one.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
I'll give
good.
you that.
That's good. There's two. We actually have more a week or an early window with that actually has more than one standout game. Wow.
Yeah.
Jacksonville and Chicago, and the Chargers and Tampa. That's all you need to know for the early window. Late window. Well, Miami and Denver.
Oh. There you go on that. Look at the one at the bottom. Look at that one. Do I even need to say anything? Yeah. Do I even need to say anything?
two two days, 2 days before Mr. Bullock's birthday, and we're getting the Buddy Bowl rematch. My Buffalo Bills versus Michael Bullock's New England Patriots at Gillette Stadium. Remember what happened the last time they played at Gillette? Let's remember that.
Yep.
New
Yep. I
England jumped out to
remember.
that early lead, but Buffalo was like, yeah, enough of this. Proved the one thing that Buffalo consistently was last year was they were a second half team. That was the theme of their season last year. And that game, oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, they were a second half team. Miracle comeback. They pulled it out 35-31. And then from there, Sunday Night Football. Ooh, here's a goodie. How about Houston and Pittsburgh on
Yep.
Sunday night at Acrisure?
Again, it looks like the primetime games is saving the week because look at the Sunday night, look at the Monday night.
The Dallas Cowboys and the Seattle Seahawks. And we actually do have bye weeks here. We got Baltimore, Indianapolis, Las Vegas, and the Jets. Those are the teams that will, and whose fan bases will not have to sweat it out in week number 13. But sum it all up. Let's run it down. Week 13, Chiefs and Rams could very easily be our game right there. Very possible. Jacksonville and Chicago, worth a look. You got the Chargers in Tampa Bay, that's worth a look. Buffalo and New England, enough said there. Houston could very easily be our game. Houston and Pittsburgh could be our game. And then you got Dallas and Seattle. So solid, not overly spectacular week 13. So there's not much more to say. MF, week 14. What do we got?
Well, we start out with a pretty good one. In Gillette, we got the Minnesota Vikings and the New England Patriots. And then, look, I kind of feel like we actually got something. It looks promising. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Baltimore Ravens. Again, there are some filler here. You got the Bears and the Dolphins, maybe. You actually do have a good one. Indianapolis versus Philadelphia.
There you go.
Houston versus the Washington Commanders. I mean, there are some games here, early window, that definitely looks good. Once we get to the late window,
here we go.
Look at this. 50-50. Now we got 50-50, but we got something. We got some cooking. We got the Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals.
History.
We do have the Niners. Yeah, history indeed. We got the Niners and the Rams at Levi. I think this would be the second time around.
Look at this. But
I will. But
what's been the theme again?
Yeah, the primetime game saves the week. But I do want to talk about one. But before we get there, Anthony, hold on. There is one that I want to call a sleeper matchup.
Okay.
The New York Football Giants versus the Seattle Seahawks. I'm calling it sleeper. I'm calling that sleeper because I think if the Giants are for real, this may be a sleeper matchup. Yes, the night game saved the week again. Ooh. The Buffalo Bills versus the Green Bay Packers at the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
Oh, it'll be frozen.
And the Monday night game, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a Discord rivalry game.
Ooh.
Because, this is a Discord rivalry game.
Okay.
Two of my friends are going to be going at it toward that night. My friend Ubbs representing the Jacksonville Jaguars and my boy Metsy, who represents the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going at it. They're going head to head in that game. So that's going to be the matchup. By the way, if you're wondering who are the teams on bye,
there's two.
Arizona Cardinals, Dallas Cowboys. And I do believe they're the last two that get the byes because I think there's nobody else at that point. I don't know.
I think you're right on that.
But Anthony, it is yours.
Yeah, week 14, Minnesota and New England, solid Thursday night matchup there. Tampa Bay and Baltimore, that's a good one there. That's definitely worth a look. as is Chicago and Miami, maybe. Indy and Philly. I mean, that's a great early window matchup. And then you got Houston and Washington. That's a sleeper game right there. The late window to 50-50. Maybe Giants in Seattle, we'll see. But you got Kansas City and Cincinnati. That's very likely going to be America's game of the week right there. But then again, could also be the Rams and the Niners. You never know. So, but that Ram 49er game at Levi, that's going to be something else. And then prime time. Two of the most successful cold weather teams of all time. This is going to be right up my alley here because MF, you know how much I love the cold weather. You know this.
Oh yeah.
And you know what Green Bay is capable of. You know, they don't call it the frozen tundra for nothing, you know. I mean, it's going to be cold either way, but there could be cold. Dare I say, could there possibly be snow? You never know.
Never know.
It's right around the time. So that's right around the time the snow comes. So Buffalo and Green Bay, I love that matchup. That's a great matchup. Definitely some apprehension about that because Green Bay is, you know, they're a solid team. I mean, Jordan Love. But the thing is, how are they going to function without Romeo Dobbs? We'll have to wait and find out. And then we go from the cold of Green Bay to the sunshine and the warmth, although it's a night game, the warmth of Jacksonville, Florida, Pittsburgh and Jacksonville, old school AFC Central rivalry. You know there's going to be some hostilities there. So, again, solid, not overly spectacular. So, let us move on now to. All right, we have another update from Jake here. In a game where Buffalo had to win, Montreal takes a 3-2 series lead after a dominant 6-3 win. Have a great night, fellas. Same to you, Jake, and we appreciate the update there. Yes, sir, the Montreal Canadiens defeat the Buffalo Sabres 6-3. They take a 3-2 series lead back home to Montreal and a chance to eliminate the Sabres, end this magical season for them, and possibly go to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Carolina Hurricanes. That could be something. So definitely keep an eye on that. All right. Let's move on to week number 15 as we get this is right around where we get closer and closer to Christmas here. Let's see if we can find some stocking stuffers. Oh, yeah, I see a stocking stuffer right off the bat. How about San Francisco and the Chargers on Thursday Night Football? How about that? That's a stocking stuffer. Oh, wait, I see another one. How about Seattle and Philadelphia as part of a double? Well, this game's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, December 19th. This is where we're going to start to get those Saturday games now. Oh, by the way, I think this is also right around the time of the college football playoffs starting, too.
Yes.
Seattle and Philly. 5 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, December 19th on Fox. And then we move on to prime time on CBS. Oh, my God, are you kidding me? The Chicago Bears and my Buffalo Bills?
Yep.
At Highmark? The new Highmark?
Yep.
Stocking stuffer. There's a stocking stuffer, friends, right there. Whoa, we're 3 for 3 here. Please let us get some good early games here. Moving on to Sunday, December the 20th. MF, Miami and Green Bay, maybe?
Yeah.
Lambeau?
Actually, that's going to be very interesting because that's going to be Malik Willis's return.
Yes.
To Lambeau.
There you go.
So, yeah, there's that one.
Green Bay. How about Jacksonville and Houston? That's a good one.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Yep. I was waiting for you to fall on that one.
The Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, MF, I asked the question, how many of those have we done?
Yeah. Too many to count. Too many to say. It's just a holy freaking, it's a holy freaking crap.
About time. And yeah, so again, the early window, not overly exciting, but but of course the two standouts, easily Baltimore and Pittsburgh and Jacksonville and Houston. Maybe, and some games worth a look, maybe Miami and Green Bay.
Yeah.
Maybe even Atlanta and Washington. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Late window. Okay. How about the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams at SoFi?
Yeah, that's the one that stands out for me too.
Absolutely. And then in prime time, the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings, US Bank Stadium, Monday Night
Oh
Football.
my God.
Take a look at that. Is that a thing of
Yo.
beauty? Michael Bullock's New England Patriots versus the Kansas City Chiefs. MF, it's a battle of the two most dominant dynasties over the last, 15, 20 years?
Yeah, pretty much. And then on top of that, I mean, oh
Could be
boy,
ours.
that could be ours. Yeah, that could be ours.
So long story short, week 15, we start off unbelievable. San Fran and the Chargers on the Thursday night. That Saturday doubleheader. Seattle and Philadelphia, and then Chicago and Buffalo. What? Are you kidding
Mm,
me?
mm.
And then in the early window, Jacksonville, Houston, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, easily the two big games right there. Dallas and the Rams in the late window, and then you cap it all off with New England and Kansas City. If you're wondering about what are the stocking stuffers, those are your stocking stuffers right there. Especially those first three games alone. So,
Yeah.
oh my word. Week 15, that's awesome. All right, MF, week 16, we got Christmas. We got Christmas Eve. We got Christmas.
Well, let's just say the first four basically Merry Christmas to you all and have a good night. There's nothing more to
I'm
say.
ready to look. Let's see what we got.
We start out on Christmas
wow.
Eve on Amazon Prime. We got the Houston Texans and the Philadelphia Eagles. But
Okay.
then on Christmas Day, a triple hitter. 2 games on Netflix. The third game is on Fox. And look at that. Green Bay, Chicago, Buffalo, Denver.
Merry Christmas, Uncle Ed.
The Rams and the Seahawks. And that's all on Friday, December 25th. Like, what a triple hitter that is. The Thursday night game, the 3 Friday games, you could shut it down right now and say, I'm done. I don't need nothing more. Like,
we're good.
That's a shutdown. We're good.
Shut it down. Let's go home, like Dirk said.
Yeah, normally we would, but we got to play. We got to do the rest of the lineup.
Yes, we do.
You got to be fair. But if you look at it, Chargers and the Dolphins, there's always been a good rivalry between them two for the last few years. You don't know what we're going to get. Early window, a little weak. Late window, I think there's only one game you need to talk about. Look at that.
Woo-hoo.
The San Francisco 49ers, the Kansas City Chiefs
on the mothership.
Arrowhead, on the mothership, 425.
Could be
That's an amazing game. Could be ours. You never know. And then after that, there's also the Sunday night game looks appetizing with the Jaguars and the Cowboys. And Monday night, you got the Giants and the Lions. Now, please note one thing, folks. You notice there are a couple of games that have not been announced. They have not put time slots in these games yet. So these are the 4 we're going to announce for you all because they deserve to be announced.
Yes.
The Buccaneers versus the Falcons. That game is a TBD. We don't know what that game's going to look like. We got the Cincinnati Bengals and the Indianapolis Colts. That game has not been put in a placement yet. We're still waiting on that. The Washington Commanders versus the Minnesota Vikings, that game has not been placed yet. We don't know what time that game will be held. If that's going to be a 1 o'clock or a 4 o'clock, we don't know yet. And the Carolina Panthers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, that game has not been placed yet. We don't know what time that game will be held. We kind of feel like maybe it's a Sunday game. And then we just got to find out if that's going to be a 1 o'clock kickoff or a 4:25 kickoff. We don't know just yet. The league is still working details on that particular lineup. But if you look at it, dude, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day makes this whole week for week 16. There's really nothing more for us to say on this one. It's just once you get to that, you're just like, oh my God, just take me out.
Oh,
That's a take me out.
wow.
There's nothing more to say. Anthony, it's
Wow.
yours.
MF. Let me give you my quick thoughts on it, and then I want to ask a question after this. Okay. So
Sure.
there is a question that definitely needs to be asked in just a moment. But let me give you my thoughts first. Whoa, those first 4 games. Houston and Philadelphia. Possible Super Bowl preview on Christmas Eve. Wow, that's going to be something. Amazon Prime Video. Look at this Christmas triple header. Are you for real right now? Look at this. Green Bay and Chicago at Soldier Field on Netflix at 1. And then at 4:30, Buffalo and Denver. MF, I think you overheard me yell out "Merry Christmas, Uncle Ed." That's our game.
Yes, I heard that.
My Buffalo Bills versus my Uncle Ed's Denver Broncos at the scene of the crime, Denver. That divisional game. For the record, it was a catch. MF, you say it's an interception. I disagree wholeheartedly. That was a catch, and you all know it. Needless to say. So I'm going to take that with me to my grave, by the way. All right. But all kidding aside. Oh my God, MF! How much fun did we have calling that divisional game with Buffalo and Denver?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great game.
How many screaming Anthony Florio moments did I have in that game?
Oh yeah, quite a few.
Even on that controversial play.
And I would even say we're probably not going to be surprised if we're going to get a few more on Christmas Day when that game goes down at 4:30.
That could very easily be our game. Very easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you got the Rams and Seattle on Fox. Whoa, baby. That is going to be something else. Actually, I think it was the Rams in Seattle. I think they were the NFC Championship last year.
Yes.
So I think the 49ers were the divisional game.
That was the divisional game. Yes, you're right.
All right. Those first 4 games alone, you don't really need to do anything else. Not only Houston and Philly as a stocking stuffer on Christmas Eve, and then you get the presents and the dinner with all the trimmings for those 3 games alone. Merry Christmas to us indeed. And then the early window, Chargers and Dolphins, maybe the only standout from the early games that have been announced. San Francisco and Kansas City on the mothership, Super Bowl 54, and of course Super Bowl 58, the second overtime Super Bowl. We all remember that one. And Jacksonville and Dallas, that's a solid Sunday night game. And maybe the Giants in Detroit, you never know, on the Monday night. And then out of the 4 to be determined, the one that stands out to me is Cincinnati and Indianapolis. I mean, that's a good matchup there.
I could give an honorable mention to the Washington and Minnesota, though.
Sure.
As an honorable mention, because other than that, I think that's the only matchups that kind of really stand out.
Okay, so that is week 16. Let's move on to week 17. NMF. We're getting an NFL game on New Year's Eve. How about this?
Yeah.
And look what we're getting on New Year's Eve.
Oh,
what a way to close out 2026, huh? Look at that. The Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals from Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati. Jackson and Burrow. You want fireworks on New Year's Eve? There you go. You know what they're capable of. Oh, please let us have a good early window. Please. We've been begging you. And so far, I got nothing.
Yikes.
Well, Giants and Cowboys again for the second time. Buddy Bowl, Buffalo and Miami.
There is a Buddy Bowl.
This time in Miami.
Yep.
And we got some demons to exercise out of that one. Do you have any idea how much of a bad taste you boys left in my mouth that day in Miami last year? Still trying to get it out. Let's see. I heard you go crazy over something here. Okay. We got Detroit and Chicago as the standout late game. Okay. The Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers
No.
on Sunday Night Football.
Keep going. Go lower. You'll know why in a second. It's not scheduled yet, but look at that.
It's a to be determined game. Okay. But we got another good Monday nighter. I mean, that's been the theme of the night. I mean, dud early window. Great primetime matchups. I mean, Philadelphia and San Francisco on Sunday Night Football. Monday Night Football, you got the Houston Texans against the Green Bay Packers. Now, when it comes to Week 17, let me explain. 2 of the 5 designated matchups will be played on Saturday, with the remainder to be played either on Thursday night at 8:15, Sunday afternoon at 1 or 4:25, Sunday night at 8:20, or Monday night at 8:15. Specific dates and start times for the designated Week 17 matchups will be determined and announced at a later date during the season. All right, let's take a look at the matchups here. We got the Washington Commanders against the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's a solid matchup. Okay, all right, I see it now. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers at SoFi. The rematch of the AFC Championship game. The Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots, this time at Gillette. And then, how about the Los Angeles Rams and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to round it out? So, in short, Week 17, Baltimore and Cincinnati on New Year's Eve. That's going to be something else. Buffalo and Miami as the standout early window game. The other ones, maybe Seattle and Carolina. I don't know. And then Detroit and Chicago in the late window. Philly and San Fran on Sunday night. Houston and Green Bay on the Monday night. And those to be determined games, all of them look great. Washington against Jacksonville, Kansas City and the Chargers. The AFC rematch easily could be ours. Rams and Tampa. So, yeah, so that's Week 17 in a nutshell. MF, we got 1 week to go. Week number 18, all divisional games. What stands out when it comes to these divisional matchups?
All divisional matchups. However, as you know, none of the games have been announced yet, so we can't really say what we're going to get, but this is where I'll reveal them all. So you're getting the Niners versus the Cardinals. You're getting the Steelers and the Ravens.
Could be ours.
That could be ours. You got Buffalo and the Jets at Highmark. You get the Falcons and the Panthers. You get the Browns and the Bengals. That's in Cincinnati. Then the next tier, you got the Broncos and the Chargers at Invesco Field and Mile High. You got the Lions and the Packers. That could be a game that could have some major significance. That will be at Lambeau Field. You got the Titans and the Texans. That's going to be at NRG Stadium. You got the Jaguars and the Colts at Lucas Oil. Then you got the Chiefs and the Raiders. That will be in Kansas City. Seattle and the Rams. And that will be at
SoFi.
At SoFi. You get the Bears and the Vikings. You get the Buddy Bowl rematch between the Dolphins and the Patriots at Gillette. You get Tampa Bay versus Tampa Bay and New Orleans. That will be at the Superdome. You get the Eagles and the Giants. That will be at MetLife. And then the Cowboys and the Commanders. Now, the reason why none of this has been announced is, like Anthony said, these will be games that will be predetermined because if there is seeding on the line, if there's a divisional title on the line, there will be, I believe, 2 or 3 games that will be designated for Saturday. A majority of them will be for Sunday, either on the 1 o'clock or the 4:25 window, and there is no difference. So all these games will be played at the same time. So because they don't want a competitive imbalance, they want everybody to play at the same time. This is sort of like what I like to call the World Cup format, where the same groups play at the same time so that there's no cheating. Like if one team already knows how their game is going to go, that maybe they bench their starters. They don't want that. They want everybody to play at the same time so that if there's a divisional on the line or a playoff on the line, you must play your starters no matter what. So that's why they do that. And there is always one designated game traditionally either for a wild card or a division title. That is the Sunday night NFL game at the end of the year. That will be the 272nd game to determine who either a division champion or who goes to the playoffs. That's how they traditionally do it. Anthony, you had the final say, and we can close up shop tonight.
Disclaimer of Week 18. In Week 18, 2 games will be played on Saturday at 4:30 and 8, with the remainder to be played on Sunday afternoon, 1 and 4:25, or Sunday night at 8:20. Specific dates, start times, and networks for Week 18 matchups will be determined and announced following the conclusion of Week number 17. When it comes to the all-divisional week, you got Pittsburgh and Baltimore as a standout, Chargers and Denver as a standout, Detroit and Green Bay as a standout, Jacksonville and Indianapolis, Seattle and the Rams, the rematch of the NFC Championship game, Chicago and Minnesota, the Buddy Bowl with Miami and New England, and Philly and the Giants, and Dallas and Washington. So we'll see how that all goes down when we get to it. So, yeah. So with that being said, that will put the bow on this 2026 TXN Sports World NFL schedule release special. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in, as always, and hopefully MF and I did a good enough job of whetting your appetites for the upcoming NFL season. And we will, of course, be previewing all of these games probably around September or so when we come back with another season of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. Of course, College Football Thursday. We can't forget about that either. So, yeah, we look forward to all this, and we can't wait until September 9th cannot get here fast enough. So, alrighty. So, that'll do it for this. Of course, we will be back with you again tomorrow night, 11 p.m., immediately following SmackDown. We'll be over on MF's channel. We got Brace Fan 95. We got the Cerebral Smack Talk. Live TNA Impact going on right now at this hour in Sacramento. We're going to run down that show. We're also going to run down Friday Night SmackDown. And we are going to preview the RWA Wrestle Prom that will take place this Saturday from the St. Anthony's Church in Pawtucket. So we'll preview that. Saturday, possibly, you never know. We could MF or myself, we could break a Talking Wrestling TXN exclusive from the Wrestle Prom show. Keep your eyes peeled on either MF's channel, Bracefan 95, or my channel, The Tone 25. You never know when a Talking Wrestling TXN exclusive could come your way. And then Tuesday night, we do it all over again. We got Ridiculously Raw, Monday Night Raw, and NXT. And then possibly next Thursday night, we might be back with you for another edition of TXN Sports World. I mean, we could be possibly previewing the conference finals of the NBA and Stanley Cup playoffs. And maybe we'll get into some UFL action. You never know. So, yeah. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, this is Anthony Florio here for Good Old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, Michael Bullock, and always and forever our First Lady, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up, Fortune Forest style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday. And until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, you have been watching this very special edition of TXN Sports World, our 2026 NFL schedule release special. So for everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.